Welcome to this week's episode with Car Stars and Roll Bars. Each of our episodes, we talk about the car culture, the builders, the car collectors, and museums. Do me a favor, everybody out there on social media, make sure to check us out on YouTube. That's subscribe, like, and share. It's kind of like Amway. Go tell 2 other friends. Part of having the great job of being the host for Car Stars and Roll Bars, we come across really cool stuff. Everybody knows how passionate I am about young builders and how we can help what we call this hobby. And actually, I found a great program about careers. This is Hot Rodders of Tomorrow. And today, our featured guest is where am I on my nose? Anyway, it's Ryan Gortney, and he is the event coordinator for Hot Rodders of Tomorrow. And he's also big-time educator. Well, before we bring him on screen, because usually we'll say, hi, how you doing? You know, what are you about? We have a video to take care of that. Hey, Rick, hit that play button, buddy.
I've been involved with Hot Rodders of Tomorrow ever since it started. I had the opportunity to go to SEMA the very first year that Hot Rodders was involved. That year we were fortunate enough to finish second in the nation. It's just amazing how this event has grown.
Yeah, it's grown, and to help us explain what's going on with this, because on a scale of 1 to 10, that's about a 52, I'm just saying. Ryan, we'll get him on studio with us remotely. I think you are in your shop area right there in Elkhart, Indiana. Welcome aboard, brother.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you having us today. So, as you can see behind me, my students are warming up and practicing for the Hot Rodders of Tomorrow. We're getting ready for our 2023 season. We just finished 2022 with the SEMA show and the PRI show, where I had the pleasure of meeting and making your acquaintance.
Ditto. Yeah, for the viewers, I'm shooting SEMA because I've been doing that for about 20 years at the SEMA show, getting my fix. And I'm going by and I see all these competitors, and I go to speak to Ryan. I got to be candid, man. Within about 30 seconds, you told me, says, Mike, if you got a second, sit down and let me tell you what you're doing. Would you like a cold water? You made me feel right at home, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We definitely appreciate the opportunity to be on your show today for sure.
So give us a little thumbnail about Hot Rodders Tomorrow. I think it was 2008. I think that's what I heard in the video that it got started.
So that's correct. We started in 2008, and this was a vision between Jim Bingham and Vic Edelbrock.
Cool.
And they saw the skills gap as far as how do we keep our industry alive? How do we create the next enthusiast, the next technician, the people to fill the trades? So Hot Rodders of Tomorrow was born. So it grew from 5 teams that first year at the SEMA show to we've had over 100 teams try to compete to qualify to be able to participate in the dual championship that's held at PRI and the SEMA show combined.
And if I remember correctly, it's over 1,000 competitors now. And are you guys north of like 20 million in scholarships? I mean, it's a significant activity.
Yeah, it's roughly $4.1 million in scholarships that the students can earn each year.
Wow.
So we're well over $30 million over the course of the entire time. And what that does is it opens up huge opportunities for these guys behind me that are practicing. So we're nationwide. We're as far west, obviously, as California. We go south, several teams in Georgia, Texas, and then as far east as Pennsylvania. And pre-COVID, we did roughly about 15 events nationwide. That was the regional qualifier. So in order for these students to be able to go to SEMA or PRI, they have to be able to take this small block Chevy engine, fully disassemble it using nothing but hand tools.
Wow.
So it teaches good teamwork skills, good communication skills, the things they need to be effective employees and be successful in their career fields.
Excellent. Well, I think we've got a video, and I think I came with a working title, about Hot Rodders of Tomorrow. So viewers, check out this video. I want to thank our good friends at SEMA. They did a great job capturing some of the energy in this video.
Hot Rodders of Tomorrow is an opportunity for every high school student from across the nation that wants to be in the automotive field one way or another. This gets them a jump start to their career in the automotive field. It's about building an engine that's completed like a crate motor with an air cleaner, carburetor, headers, everything on it. Put fire, fuel, and oil on it, it'd fire up and run. Fastest team wins.
I'm Mason Miller. I'm from Thomas County Central High School in Thomasville, Georgia. I'm here with Team Moroso, and we are part of the Hot Rodders of Tomorrow Engine Building Challenge.
Wow. So even the coaches, the mentors, the judges, you get a sense of the energy of this, of how passionate they are about Hot Rodders of Tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely, Mike. I mean, we're all here for a greater purpose and a larger scope. And so it's more than just about doing our job as a teacher. We're trying to give the students that spirit and energy they need to be successful, like I said, throughout life. And, you know, the coaches, it's much like what you would see on the sideline of a basketball or a football game.
Okay.
During the actual run or the event, we're able to be on the sidelines and interject and kind of give guidance and things like that. So as you saw in the video, the 5-person team, we can have 4 people out in front of the engine while they're actually working with the hand tools, whereas one individual has to stay behind the bench.
So that, and we got some pictures of that coming up. So for the viewers, there's so many moving parts to this because they have a certain sequence. They want to grab the valve covers, what it is. There's positions on their little bench where they have to lay stuff down, and then they have to be able to communicate with the judges, the torque settings, the list goes on, right, buddy?
Yes, sir. So there is a group of judges that actually watch the build while it's happening. So the students, this doesn't just happen haphazardly. The students are literally putting in hundreds and hundreds of hours to practice to be able to be at the skill level to be on the national stage. So as I had shared, what happens, the students have the opportunity to qualify at that regional event. So they have to be under 32 minutes with any penalties that they might accrue as well. So once they've qualified under that 32 minutes, then teams are given the option to attend the PRI show or the SEMA show. What will happen is the teams then are qualifying against the clock. You get to build the engine a total of 4 times at the national event. They'll throw out your slowest time and then average the 3 times. Once that 3-time average is figured, that gives you your seed placing and where you're going to finish. So what happens is then they take what's called the Elite 8. So the top 4 teams from the SEMA show will get brought into the PRI show in Indianapolis in December. And the students that go to compete at the PRI show, they'll take those down to the top 4 teams at PRI, and then PRI goes head-to-head against SEMA to see who's going to be 8th, 7th, all the way down to first place.
Wow. This is fascinating. Like that last shot we just had there, Ryan, there's almost a sequence of the way you want to lay the items out on that bench. So is that like the captain that's behind that bench?
Yeah, so the cool thing, like yourself with robotics, you know, there's always going to be a sequence that you do things. And the cool part is, like, we had 46 teams at the national stage this year. And what you're going to see is 46 different builds that they're going to do, or 46 different ways that they're going to disassemble, organize, and reassemble the engine. So it also gives the students some ingenuity as far as designing their own trays, you know, kind of coming up with tool ideas and things like that.
And I'm sure it's kind of like an Indy team, right, or a NASCAR team. You got to figure out who's got the best skill for that best position, and then everybody work together so nobody gets in each other's way, right?
Absolutely. So it's like a dance. I mean, to be able to put it together from start to finish to where they're not getting in each other's way, and there's no wasted effort, no wasted energy. So each year, the judges and the rules committee, they actually take a look at ways to actually to try and slow the students down. So they're constantly adding new components to the engine. They're actually making sure that nothing is missed. So before the run begins, they actually will measure rotational torque on the engine. And then after the build, they go back and remeasure that rotational torque to verify that the engine is within spec. So
Wow.
all your torque procedures for cylinder head, connecting rod, water pump, every fastener on the engine, you actually have to put a torque wrench on it and verify that the torque value is achieved. And then you have to follow the torque sequence as well.
Wow. So that isn't like just kind of throw it together and the judge goes, it looks pretty cool. In fact, there's criteria all the way through it. I think we have another video because I'm loving what we're doing today with this. So Rick, I think we have one actually about some of the competitors. Let's see what's going on.
We've did shows of all over the place. We've actually had owners of drag strips invite us down to do like little builds and stuff to show people what we do. I mean, we're just all the time getting unique opportunities.
When I decided to start the Hot Rodders of Tomorrow Engine Challenge, my parents and family were very supportive. They thought it was really cool.
Hot Rodders of Tomorrow fits in perfectly with our style of kids, our kind of kids. They love the program. The people here at Hot Rodders of Tomorrow have been incredibly positive and influential in helping our kids. We have 2 graduates right now that are at the University of Northwestern Ohio, would not be there if it was not for the scholarship money they won from Hot Rodders of Tomorrow.
Wow. So for all the viewers that might be parents or grandparents, listen to what that coach just had to say, right? Due to Hot Rodders of Tomorrow, some of these competitors, they're going to really great universities and colleges.
Oh, absolutely. This opens up such a huge opportunity for the students that might be looking at going straight into a career, straight into the world of work. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what it does with the cost of college, of course, we know how expensive that can be. This opens up to where students can earn $25,000, $30,000 worth of scholarship dollars to help pay for their post-secondary education. So a student that comes to a training program like we have or other technical high schools throughout the United States, now these students are able to, freshman through senior year, earn the scholarship money to help pay for their future.
And I appreciate all the time you spent with me setting up the time at SEMA, and we've Zoomed together. And real quick, share the story about one of your students who what he had saw American Chopper and wanted to learn how to work on motorcycles. I'll just kind of cue it up. You might remember that conversation we had.
Sure thing, Mike. So what's cool is just like us doing this podcast, television programs, things like that. Years ago, American Chopper was huge, and we had a young man that he just knew he liked motorcycles, and he showed up his first day of class, and he really didn't know what tools were. He didn't know the difference between a Phillips screwdriver and a straight screwdriver. And so we took him from not knowing what tools were to actually teaching him a skill set. And he was actually able to compete and participate in the Hot Rodders program and was on a team that finished 6th in the nation that year. And that opened up just huge opportunities for him, partnerships with not only business and industry, but in the racing community with NASCAR, NHRA, and things like that.
And this is so amazing because just like you, Ryan, I'm a hot rodder. I'm a really old hot rodder. And we said, well, what's the way if someone's young and they want to get on a race team, NHRA, NASCAR, Indy League, the list goes on. This is an amazing inroad. Plus, they bring all this experience and knowledge with them.
For sure. And the big thing is they understand what it's like. The students do. This is real world. In the real world, we have deadlines, and then obviously we have pressure. Of course, when you're working on a professional race team, you have somebody's life in your hands. So you've got to make sure that you're, checking everything to make sure there's no mistakes made. So these students understand what it's like to work as a team, to work as a unit, and then make sure they're striving for perfection.
Very cool.
The academic side that we touched on a little bit, so the students have an actual rule book that they have to actually read, study, and memorize. So these students are working, they're not using a technical manual, as they're looking those specs up. during the run, they have it all put to memory.
Beautiful.
And then there's a written test as well that their students are going to take
Really?
that can help them either get bonus time or it adds to their overall time. So that question bank has roughly 250 questions
Right.
that the students have memorized to know the answers. So their automotive knowledge that they have that they're going to be able to take to some of these professional teams or into the world of work is going to be beneficial for everyone across the board.
Excellent approach. I think we got some pictures of when there was some awards ceremony, and once again, you see the team, the camaraderie. And I think we might recognize one of the guys in this shot.
Yeah, so I'm wearing the same jersey today. Some of the team members
Beautiful.
behind me that are practicing. Fluid Dampener was our sponsor this year. Fluid Dampener's been involved with the Hot Rodders of Tomorrow program for 2 years now. So last year was their first year, and then this year we were able to finish 4th in the nation with Team Fluid Dampener. It netted each of these guys about $30,000 apiece in scholarship dollars. And I would guarantee that each and every one of those young men is going to put that scholarship money to good use.
Yeah, very, very cool. And so here, I think this is like your first place team from probably this very last competition series.
Correct. So ATEC is based out of Kentucky. They make training aids, and ATEC was number one in the nation this year. They're from Georgia, and they finished with, I believe they set the national record this year as well at about 16 minutes, 30 seconds.
Oh my goodness. Wow. And what's great, you just see this celebration, right? The energy. And again, like you talked before, it's a team, right? Everybody's together.
It is. And the importance of this is this gives these students an avenue that maybe they haven't had in their traditional high school. So they may not be the football star. They may not like basketball or other typical sporting events. But when I think of sports, I think of motorsports. Okay, so that's the drag racer in me. And this gives the students an opportunity to take the hands-on skill sets that they're learning here in our shop here at Elkhart or wherever they're at throughout the United States, and they're able to apply that and be successful.
Excellent. So I think we got a video coming up, letting everybody some other perspectives on why Hot Rodders of Tomorrow is so important.
You know, with Hot Rodders, what I enjoy about it and how it relates to my curriculum back in Elkhart is this gives them life skills that they're going to utilize in business and industry.
They're using communication skills, working as a team. Big deals that they don't normally get in all the other stuff that they do, because they have to communicate with each other. They have to communicate with the judges. And then more than anything, they communicate what they're doing so they know what they're going to do the next step.
Outside of the putting the motor together, we're learning like leadership skills, team skills, because we're working with each other a lot.
And friendship. I mean, everybody here is a competitor, but there's a friendship there, and there's no hatred towards each other, and it's good to learn that stuff.
Teaching young people how to get along with each other in the work field, it's more than just taking an engine apart and putting it back together. I will tell you that.
I love that closing phrase, Ryan. It's more than just learning how to take an engine apart and putting it back together.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Wow.
So being able to work at that high level that you see in the video, and these students, I mean, they put in the hours. So what people don't realize is the extra hours that the students put in. So my students come in on Saturday mornings for Saturday school at 7 a.m. A lot of times we're here from 7 to 11. If somebody has to work or somebody's involved in football or band or some other conflict that may happen that day, there's been times that we're in as early as 5:30 in the morning.
Excellent.
And then
Excellent.
These students don't know quit in them. We'll be here for holidays, so we've spent Thanksgiving actually here before practicing because they want to finish They will have that pride of finishing top 10 in the nation. And, everybody wants to be number one. The difference is you've got to put in the extra effort, the time, the energy to be the best.
You got it. We're going to shift gears. You're going to love that pun because all my viewers, they know my passion for hot rodding. Well, here's a heads up. In addition to being a really cool instructor and kind of the gearhead that holds hot rodders tomorrow together, he's a hot rodder his own self. I think we got a couple of pictures of some of your rides. Tell me about, I think this is the world's greatest sleeper, dude. Tell me about this.
So my boys named this car Grandma. Because it looked old and slow, and it actually had a white doily in the back glass. Now, this car, it may not look like much, but this car actually it's a 1966 Cornet, and It actually had a 528 Hemi with 2 4s under the stock hood. So it was a true street sleeper. And we actually had a switch hidden in the ashtray to where you could uncork the exhaust with exhaust cutouts. And we put the most restrictive muffler we could to just quiet that Hemi down.
Yeah.
And when you uncorked it, and as long as you were careful with your right foot, you squeeze into it easy, the car would run 1290s in the quarter. So it was just it upset a lot of people on the street and at the strip as well.
Absolutely. Now for the viewers, your heart's recovered a little bit. Check out this next ride. So again, you can't really call this on Maverick. Was it a grabber?
So this is an original 72 Grabber Maverick.
Yep.
It was a 302 4-speed car originally. And then I'm sure you've got another picture. We'll show you our viewers. There we go.
Wow.
So this is another Hemi-powered car. So this is a Boss 9. This uses John Cossey cylinder heads. So it's a 385 series big block Ford. It's bored additional, so it's a 529 cubic inch street Hemi. So this is packing about 800 horse to the wheels, and we're building this to do some drag and drive events coming up hopefully this season if I can find some spare time to be able to not only finish the car but just take it out and flog on it and enjoy it a little bit.
Because I think I told you, because my wife's coming through, I got this 36-inch monitor in my studio at the house. I'm pulling these pictures. I'm going, what? She goes, Mike, you're drooling. So once again, for the viewers, this is a true dyed-in-the-wool car guy. So we kind of talked about your cars. So before we step into some more activities on Hot Rodders tomorrow, because we got something about the junior builder, stand by. What's your favorite automotive memory to date?
Oh boy, that's a tough one,
Well, yeah.
I would say anytime I get to go racing with my family is a great memory. And it isn't just my immediate family, it's the family that just surrounded by racing. So whether I'm getting to junior race, whether I'm getting ready to sportsman race, whether it's a no prep, just anytime I get to go with my family and then hang out with my extended family.
Beautiful.
So we get an opportunity, it's just amazing the camaraderie and the friendships that you build as you get to enter the racing series.
I'm talking going to the SEMA show, and it's like a family reunion with all the owners, the manufacturers, the builders. Now, for the viewers, because I'm thinking, Hot Rodders tomorrow. What about like some of the younger competitors? Well, let me look at my notes. I think we call this the Hot Rodders Tomorrow Junior Engine Challenge. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's the Junior Hot Rodders of Tomorrow. So the way that this came about is a lot of times by the time students got to high school, they weren't aware of programs like we have here at Elkhart or within their district. So by the time the students had gotten there, the counselors hadn't told them about opportunities for hands-on skills, whether that be a welding class, a cosmetology class, a construction, whatever that may be. So we saw the shortfalls, and we developed a curriculum with starting with kids as young as 5 years old. And what we do is we will take the high school students and they will serve as a mentor.
Oh, nice.
And they will work as a coach. We bring the engine and the tools, and we go into grade schools or STEM labs,
Nice.
car shows, other events. With the junior drag racing, we follow the Midwest Junior Super Series.
Yep.
It's one of the premier racing series that happens for junior drag racing. And during the downtime, we will actually take the Briggs & Stratton engine and the hand tools and actually build it.
Wow. So for the viewers, you know me and my videos, how much I like them. Check out this video about this new Junior Hot Rodders of Tomorrow program.
Well, I think it's important because it teaches kids that it's okay to work on things and to get dirty and work with their hands. It's okay to put down the device. You notice they don't have a cell phone or a tablet. I hadn't heard them mention Fortnite or any of these other things that are huge for the kids right now. We're encouraging them that it's okay to tear it apart, figure out the STEM aspect, the science, the technology, the engineering, and the math that goes along with this. So they're learning rotational torques, leverage, all the physics that go with an internal combustion engine, and how to take it apart 100% and then put it back together. We've had just over close to 800 kids this year that we've been able to run through on the engine. And here we have two brothers at a young age that are going to keep our industry alive, and not only alive, but it's going to thrive.
That is so cool. Dude, you can, and I loved your comment about Fortnite and the iPads and all that. We've got a closing video. If I can just kind of throw you a little bit of a left-hand turn, could you ask your team to kind of step into frame just a little bit so we can say howdy to them? They've been wrenching behind you all morning.
Hey guys, go ahead and sit down where you're at and come on up so that we can show you on the camera.
We got to show them off a little bit, Ryan.
Oh, absolutely. While they're coming up, this is one of our ATEC trainers. So just like that team, ATEC is actually who provides these cutaways. And this is the actual engine like we would use for the junior program.
Amazing.
That these guys would actually be the individual that would guide the students through on how to do that with the younger age.
Very cool. Well, all the competitors, the students, I want to say a big shout out. Thank you for your mentoring. You got an amazing person to kind of help lead your charge, but the old adage, you can't do to the team. So are you guys having fun this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're ready to get back to wrenching. I can tell a couple of them kind of getting itchy because they haven't got a ratchet in their hand.
That's true.
Well, guys, thank you very much for being part of that. And Ryan, don't step away. We're going to come back on with some closing thoughts. Before we do all of that, we've got a video. Once again, I want to thank the friends at SEMA that, to me, really kind of summarizes everything we've talked about this morning. Hey, Rick, find that and hit that button, buddy.
They go through a lot. They practice hours and hours. They're nonstop. They're bending over. They're lifting heavy parts. They're moving all the time. And it's just like any other team sport. One person makes a mistake, they all fall. Even me. I'm part of that team. I'm a coach. So if it falls apart, I fall apart. If we win, we all win.
There's a lot of behind the scenes that people don't see. We practice 4 or 5 times a day, every other day. We come in at nights and practice, and it's pedal to the metal until we're done.
You know, we do it to win, there's no doubt about it, but above that, it's about representing something bigger than you.
We teach these kids great integrity, great character, great teamwork skills. They have to work together. It doesn't matter what industry, what field they go into, they're going to have to work with others. They're going to have to communicate in order to be highly effective and motivated in order to get some things done and accomplished.
Wow. Well, Ryan, every once in a while I get kind of speechless, and when I'm around you, dude, I'm serious. When I grow up, I want to be like you, man. You're making this big difference. Like you and I talked before, there's some discussions. Where do we get this next wave of young builders and everybody excited about engines and how to build hot rods and fall in love with it? And I think you guys have the secret sauce. I truly do.
Oh, for sure. We're definitely creating the energy and the excitement. And it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for our sponsors.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't be possible without SEMA's involvement. You know, we have to have some place to actually highlight and feature these students and the skill set that they have. So I'm so excited that we're back in 2023. You know, we had obviously a little bit of a slowdown that we all did, but if it wasn't for the sponsors, this wouldn't be possible, you know, because it takes money to go up and down the road with our truck and trailer to put these events on. And to speak of the events, you know, everybody that comes to the event is a volunteer. So myself, I'm a volunteer. All the other judges, our rules committee, you know, everybody's volunteering their time and they're giving back. And what's really cool is the students, after they graduate, after they've gone on to college, maybe when they get that job in the business and industry, they're able to give back. And the students, a lot of times, they come back to be judges. So it goes full circle.
Absolutely.
And it's just great opportunities. We got lots of students that go out to work at the professional level, whether that be, you know, NASCAR, IndyCar with Team Penske. We've got students that have worked for John Force Racing on championship teams. But it all goes back to, you know, just having the sponsorship opportunities and people willing to give back.
Before we say goodbye, I think we've got some information on how people can get a hold of Hot Rodders tomorrow. If you can step us through that, Ryan.
Right. So I'm an event coordinator that I actually help to, I guess, put volunteers together when we want to go in to do an event to make sure we have enough volunteers, whether that be a junior event program where we're taking care of maybe 300, 500, 600 kids over the course of a 2 to 3 hour time frame. So to run the kids through that quick, we have to make sure we have all the engines in place, all the tools in place, and then all the volunteers.
Perfect. Well, Ron, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. I know you and I'm going to hook up down the road, and for sure we'll be spending time at SEMA together too, my brother.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it for sure.
And thank you for all you do, and have a great weekend. And please give a big shout out to all your students. They are going to be among the best, without a doubt in my mind. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks, Mike. Have a great day.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. Do me a big favor. Go check out Hot Rodders of Tomorrow. Talk to some of the companies you know. The more sponsors we can get, the more difference we can make for these young adults that are really striving to make a better life for themselves. And until next time, enjoy the ride.